We go out here and out here. No, sorry, out here and there to the input of these.
Knowing which cables to connect is easy.
They have to be all the same, huh? They have to be all balanced.
It's everything else that's the challenge. And despite careful planning, things don't always work out the way they're meant to.
Nothing what you need from here to support you guys over there, over?
No, at the moment everything is fine. We have everything that we need.
Along with logistics and know-how, team spirit is essential.
The junction boxes will be here on this side. They're always on one side. Start with that.
So is a taste for adventure and a talent for improvisation.
Up here. Nice height.
Building solar photovoltaic systems on remote islands in the Federated States of Micronesia is not your average 9-to-5 job. It's more of an action-packed mission made possible, despite extreme hurdles.
We should have lights over there now.
But the successes speak for themselves. In early February 2009, the supply ship, the Caroline Voyager, set off from Pohnpei Harbor in the Federated States of Micronesia, or FSM for short. It's the fourth time the European Union's solar engineers are heading out on this ship. The Caroline Voyager is the only one in the country that regularly puts in at the remote outer islands of FSM. Most passengers get settled in above the hold. They don't realize it, but they're traveling with a friend. Stored far below them is a precious cargo of photovoltaic panels and batteries, plus all the components required to build 2 complete solar power plants, 2,000 kilometers away. This boat is the only means the Renewable Energy Program team has to get its equipment and crew to its destination. The European engineers and Micronesian technicians will be out to sea for 9 days. It's no ordinary commute to work, and it's just as extraordinary as the work these men are doing here.
I've been fortunate enough to be invited to this project here in the Federated States of Micronesia, which is the implementation of 16 solar systems on various small outer islands. I like some form of adventure, I guess, and that sounded pretty much like it. You know, challenging environment, also challenging to really implement the systems under these conditions.
And also the challenge to master the logistics, to train people, to raise awareness about solar energy, renewable energy, energy efficiency, energy saving. These are all topics which are not much touched yet on these islands.
The solar energy engineers have been underway in FSM for 4 months now, bringing environmentally friendly solar power systems to remote islands. The project is implemented by the Pacific Islands Forum Secretariat and is being financed by the 9th European Development Fund. This will be the technicians' longest tour yet.
I'm expecting a lot of ocean, I think, for the first few days. And then then a nice big solar installation. It's the biggest ones we've done so far. So looking forward to that.
Navigating a coral reef is never easy, and the captain has to succeed at it several times a day, every day. The Federated States of Micronesia is an island nation in the western part of the Pacific Ocean.
See, it's not too bad.
Most of the more than 600 islands are flat coral islands surrounded by reefs.
We're heading here to Puluwat Atoll.
The route to the planned solar installations will lead the team straight across the country. The captain points out the way. The team is already familiar with some of the islands, as they've already installed solar power plants there. They plan on stopping by some of them to see how everything's going.
First of all, I didn't know where Micronesia was. Had to look it up on the internet, and then I thought, hey, wow, this is a pretty remote place. And so it was partly also the unknown, that I go to a country that I'd never been to before.
Peter Konings, the project leader, has been working on the project in FSM for 2 years.
Federated State of Micronesia, they have a lot of small islands, remote atolls, where no access to electricity has ever been established, so there's no power generation. And the focus was actually to upgrading the living standard, the living conditions on these outer islands by introducing affordable, environmental clean and economically sound energy.
En route to Yap, the boat stops at an island at least once a day. Usually it drops anchor outside the lagoon, a few hundred meters off the coast. The coral reefs prevent mooring any closer to land, and only the main islands have real harbors. Anyone disembarking here has to use a small motorboat. Passengers offload their purchases and luggage onto these local vessels, and even babies get transferred, carefully, very carefully. There's simply no other way to get around in this part of the world. The solar team grabs the chance to stretch their legs and do some vitally important research. It's not easy for the solar engineers to access current information about an island situation. Are there any generators? Maybe some solar panels? Is there any electricity at all? What do people here need? This is a golden and rare opportunity to find out, because the boat only comes by here every few months or so. The men's house is the main meeting place on every island. This is where news is shared and decisions are made. Everyone's turned out to greet the fresh arrivals. The EU's team of solar experts is a welcome sight. We
arrived there and had to introduce ourselves at the men's house, and it was a kind of culture which was long before us, and they still kept it up, and that was quite impressive to dive into this culture and to basically soak it up and get to know how the people live, and also the friendliness of the people. I mean, they're very hospitable and very open.
That is given only to the chief.
Sadly, time on the island is short. There's only 2 hours for a tour. The team surveys the island in advance of a planned follow-up project to be implemented next year. That was the first part of our series, Solar in Paradise. In the next episode, you'll find out just what the EU solar team discovers on its tour of the island Satawan, and why solar energy in the Federated States of Micronesia has practically become a matter of state. Stay tuned.